Hey, what's good? It's your boy Young JDR Sports back with another sports fantasy video. You know what I'm saying? Today's video we're going to be doing the most valued wide receivers in the draft, I would say, for fantasy. Not the best necessarily, but the best that you can get for the value. So what I mean by that is where you're picking them at. So a late round receiver has extreme good talent and upside. So that's what I'm going to be saying. Those types of players. There's going to be 6 wide receivers on this list. So make sure you guys do drop a like. Subscribe if you are new. Let's try to hit 100 subs within the next week or so. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be grinding the fantasy videos. I'm hyped for this NFL season. But yeah, make sure you guys do drop a like. Subscribe to Young JDR, but also subscribe to this channel. And comment your favorite NFL wide receiver. I know a lot of you guys don't maybe know football from Young JDRs. But yeah, make sure you guys comment your favorite wide receiver or your favorite football player. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. First player that I have as a must-draft wide receiver that's underrated is Courtland Sutton. He's 25 years old and he's 6'4". As a receiver, that's very good. The only problem is he's in a bad situation, I'd say, with the offense, with Denver having a QB situation. Drew Lock, I don't, as much of a Denver fan I am, you guys don't know in this channel, I am a Denver fan, and I don't make it biased at all, though, because I think Courtland Sutton and Noah Fant are probably the best fantasy and only fantasy relevant players on that team, really, that are actually good. And you could maybe say Melvin Gordon, but yeah, Courtland Sutton's a great wide receiver, has huge upside. On ESPN, he's ranked 25th projected. It's pretty low. That's what I mean. That's why he's a good value. Like, he's athletic, but the only thing is he tore his ACL in week 2 last year. He got hurt against the Titans, and then he tore it against the Steelers trying to make a tackle. So, very unfortunate. In 2019, he had a 1,000-yard season, and that season was very weird. It was when Joe Flacco was playing, then Brandon Allen took over for 2 weeks, and then Drew Lock finished the rest of the season. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. And right now, is it Lock? Is it Bridgewater? Or is Rodgers going to come? Is Deshaun Watson? What happened to Deshaun Watson? He's not done yet. You know what I mean? There's still rumors out there. So that's what I'm saying. It all depends on the QB situation, but also Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy really hasn't played with Courtland Sutton on the side. That's the thing. So is Sutton gonna get more covered because of, you know what I mean? Or is, you know what I mean? Is it gonna be one-on-one with Sutton, or are they gonna be paying more attention to Sutton? I don't know. I think Jeudy does help out with bringing less attention off of him, so like one-on-one coverage a lot. But yeah, definitely super underrated wide receiver. He's had great years. In 2018, he's a rookie. He had 704 yards, and the quarterback situation in Denver has been crazy. 2019, he had 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He was pretty good this year, that year, and last year hurt. But 2021, expect a bounce back year, if depending on the quarterback situation. Next, must draft wide receiver. I mean, this one may come a little obvious, but Julio Jones. They have him 18th ranked. 18th, Julio Jones. Right now, this video is recording on June 3rd. He is still on the Atlanta Falcons, and he's ranked 18th. So does that mean if he gets traded, will he go up or go down? I'm not sure. I honestly think if he gets traded, he goes up, depending on which team. There's rumors about Seattle. I think that's the only team he potentially goes down with, maybe. I think he's the main focus on Atlanta right now. The only teams I could maybe see him doing better at is the Patriots. I could see him doing really good. I could see Cam Newton and Julio Jones just having a really good connection. I could definitely see the other teams that are candidates too, like the Titans. What are this? Titans, Seattle, Patriots, like I said, Ravens. But a lot of the teams are starting to get out of it because I guess the Falcons are asking way too much for Julio, even though he's like 32 years old now. But he's a great wide receiver. We know his career. He's definitely most likely a Hall of Famer. But yeah, he's elite. But the thing is, he's had injuries in the past couple years. He's 32 years old, and they just added Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts is a really athletic receiving tight end. So does that hurt him or not? I don't know. I think it does, just slightly, if he stays with Atlanta. And they do have Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley has been playing amazing. Is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL, and sort of overrated at the same time. I don't know. I feel like it depends on the person. Some people overrate, some people underrate him. But yeah, Julio Jones ranked 18th. That's insane. He's gonna be. So you're telling me there's 18 wide receivers passed up on him? I can see right here too. I'll tell you some of the ones that are crazy. All right. So, wide receiver. All right. Julio Jones 18. CD Lamb, second year player. They're ranking over Julio. Even this, Mike Evans, I kind of find that hard to believe. Amari Cooper, not a huge Amari Cooper fan. So 2 Dallas Cowboys wide receivers over Julio. Calvin Ridley's at 9, Julio's at 18. That's kind of a huge difference. Yeah, there's a bunch of receivers. Like, even Adam Thielen. Like, I think Julio is probably the better receiver than Adam Thielen. Situation right now, Thielen's probably a little bit better, but even Thielen with Justin Jefferson, how is that going to work out? Yeah, Julio being ranked 18th, you guys can grab him deep down in the draft. Not super deep, but yeah, in the middle round as a wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver 1, I would not be super confident with. But yeah, but just having him as a starting wide receiver, you got to be confident with. Definitely seen his past. So our third receiver, it's an iffy one. It's not the best, not the worst. You could argue whether it's good or not. Will Fuller, also depending on the QB situation with Tua. Tua has great wide receivers right now. He has Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, Preston Williams, just a bunch, and Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki. Yeah, he has a lot of targets. So is Will Fuller going to be the number 1 target? Yeah, I believe so. He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver for this year. He's on a 1-year contract. He was suspended, though, and I think he's missing the first 2 games, though, which shouldn't be a problem. If you're drafting him late, it shouldn't be a problem. He's ranked 38th projected on ESPN. So, yeah, 38th receiver, and he's only missing 2 games in the beginning, and he's like the number 1 starting receiver for that team. Yeah, that's pretty good. The only downside also is that he's never had a 1,000-yard season. You say that and you're like, wait, what? Yeah, he's never had a 1,000-yard receiving season. Even though he's been playing with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson led the league last year without receiving yards, and he did not have over 1,000 yards. I kind of find that hard to believe, but it's very interesting. There's the stats I also pulled up right there. Very interesting, though. You know what I'm saying? He's never had a 1,000-yard season, but I don't know. I think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver on that team, at least after the first games he's missed. All right, so let's go on to our next receiver. All right, now here we are. I'm getting with some elite receivers, and I'm getting with some serious guys and some underdog receivers. My 4th receiver is Terry McLaurin. I have super high hopes in him, even though there's a new quarterback situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he just has a huge upside. He's almost had 2 1,000-yard seasons. Last year, he had 1,000 yards. Let's see. He had 1,118 yards last year, and in 2019, he had 919. So in 2 years, he had over 2,000 yards. 2019, he had 7 touchdowns. Last season, he had 4. Also, yeah, the QB situation has been pretty bad there. Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins last year, even Heineke in the playoffs, but playoffs don't count for fantasy, of course. But yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a starting QB. My thoughts on that? I don't know. I'm mixed feelings. Also, yeah, it's not over yet. Doesn't mean that Ryan Fitzpatrick's still locked on starting QB. You know what I mean? It's football. Stuff happens last minute. You know what I mean? But yeah, Terry McLaurin, he's never really had a good starting QB, I guess you could say. Never like a good one. So we don't know his full ceiling, and he's already had some good years. He's just he's a very athletic and just like a good receiver. He's 6 foot. He's fast. He's a pretty good route runner. He's just a good, like, he's the definition of a good receiver. Not like the big, tall, or speed receiver. He's just a balanced overall receiver, I'd say. So yeah, I definitely think he's a lot of upside. Look at him. If he's down there, I think he's fallen at least around past 30, like in the 30s. I think he's been getting picked. And getting picked in the 30s for Terry McLaurin, depending on who's there, he's ranked 10th on ESPN. So not too bad. The receivers ranked above him. Like even Calvin Ridley and Justin Jefferson, I'm not sold on them. I'm more sold on Terry McLaurin than Justin Jefferson. I'm being honest. Justin Jefferson, just after 1 season, I don't know. Stuff happens in the NFL. Players have good years, they have bad years. But yeah, Terry McLaurin, ranked 10th receiver. You could definitely grab him, I'd say, in 3rd round if you're confident. If you could draft 2 running backs and you want him as your starting receiver, or if you go running back, a really good running back, and you go wide receiver, and get Terry McLaurin in the 3rd round, that's kind of risky. You'd have 2 great receivers, though, whoever you draft in the 2nd round. But I don't know. I definitely would probably go running back, first 2 rounds, just because how bad the running back market is. I mean, it's like that every year. Just you want a running back who gets volume, who's the starting running back. And wide receivers, you could be the third wide receiver on a team and have a pop-off year. It's very weird how receivers work. But yeah, he's a really solid, really good player. I expect him to have a huge upside in his career. So our other receiver, it's a little deep one. It's DJ Chark. He's ranked 26, right below Courtland Sutton. So Courtland Sutton and DJ Chark are really low. Brandon Cooks is at 20. Brandon Cooks. I understand he's a starting receiver at Houston, but he's old. Who's even going to be the QB at Houston? I don't know, and he's ranked 20. DJ Chark last year was kind of not a good year, even though he had some good weeks. In week 4, he had 29.5 fantasy points. A good game by him. 8 receptions, 95, 2 touchdowns. But other than that, he had a 27.6 game, 16-point game, pretty solid for him. Not like a lot of games under 10, so he's kind of like one of those guys. I think he will be the starting receiver next year, even though they have Laviska. I'm not completely sold on Laviska. He didn't really prove much in his rookie season. I guess he did a little bit at the end. Laviska did a little bit okay, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on Laviska yet, and Travis Etienne playing receiver doesn't really scare me much at all. I think that they mean by that he's going to be more of a receiving running back, short running back, and their tight end's Tim Tebow. Like, dude, that guy's a beast. He's going to be taking all the targets. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, Tim Tebow, I don't think it affects DJ Chark either. But also, the main thing is they drafted Trevor Lawrence. That's the big thing. That's a huge upgrade from Gardner Minshew. You go from an undrafted quarterback to the #1 quarterback. Like, how do you go from, like, that's just crazy. That's a huge jump. They also did add Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones, that's a tough one right there. You could say potentially that could steal some targets, but I think Marvin Jones is going to be more the slot receiver. He's getting old. I can't see him staying long, but DJ Chark's really underrated. He's an amazing athletic receiver. I compare him to DK Metcalf without the strength. I believe he's 6'4". I don't know if I have it written down. No, I don't, or anything. But I believe he's 6'4". He's really young still. Okay, he's 198 pounds. There it is. 6'4". His 40-yard dash time is crazy too. So he's basically like DK, but without the strength and the weight. DK Metcalf is a lot stronger and heavier and still fast, which is crazy to believe. But yeah, DJ Chark is like that, but with just out the strength, which receivers don't need the most strength. You look at guys who are super fast, like Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's just like, in guys like even like Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, those guys are really young and they are like have no weight to them. Devontae Smith, you know what I mean? Being a receiver is just playing football. You need to know how to play football to play receiver. It's not all about just your strength and stuff like that. But yeah, DJ Chark knows how to play football. Last 2019, he had a 1,000-yard season he was beyond breakout year. I never expected that, and I don't even think that was his ceiling. He played 15 games in that season, had 118 targets, 73 receptions, so not too bad right there. Last season, he only had 706 yards. They had a really bad QB situation too, so I definitely think with the new QB situation, it's only going to get better. Very, very better. And lastly, just talking about the man, DK Metcalf. Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. You're not supposed to put like the best wide receivers on a must-draft wide receiver. Like, it's supposed to be for value, but I think DK is just crazy. He's fallen like between, I think, 15 and like high 20s up in the picks, so you can get him in the second, potentially third round, but I think second round is his main point. Yeah, second round is basically where he's going, but DK Metcalf's ranked 6 on ESPN, so you're gonna have to reach for him a little bit in the second round. That's why I said you could go running back, wide receiver, running back. DK Metcalf, I'm honestly gonna be honest, I'm not completely sold on him yet. He's just an athletic beast, but yeah, we need to see more from him, I think. Also, the rumors with Julio Jones get it going there too makes me a little skeptical, but not really. I think even if Julio Jones does go there, maybe DJ Chark would even have a better season. I don't know, because this, you know what I mean? Everyone thinks of Julio, and DJ Chark's just athletic beast. His rookie year, he had 900 yards, 58 receptions, but then last season, he went up from that with 83 receptions, 1,303 yards, and 10 touchdowns in 2020. Per a really good year by him. Tyler Lockett kind of went down in value as DJ Chark increased. You know what I mean? Tyler Lockett was obviously the #1 until this season, 2020. Just DK Metcalf just kind of overtook the #1 receiving spot. He does have a tough matchup in his division with Jalen Ramsey, but he's just an athletic beast. I don't think it matters who he plays. He's going to be great. I think he is Russell Wilson's new favorite target. And I think he would be any quarterback's favorite target. But yeah, he's almost had 2,000-yard seasons in 2 years. That's crazy. You know what I mean? He's an absolute unit of a receiver. He's the definition of an all-time receiver, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's the best wide receiver ever. He has talent. He needs to get better at catching the balls, though. He has missed. That's his only flaw in his game right now. He's not as bad as Deontay Johnson, but yeah, he isn't the best pass catcher of a receiver, but he has the speed, he has the strength, he has the height, and his route running is pretty good too. His separation skills are decent, but that's another thing he's not the best at, but he's still good at, but the speed just makes it so easy. But yeah, catching, Needs to get decently better. He's missed a lot of open like little catches, but don't worry, the chemistry between him and Russell Wilson will increase. I don't know why there were Russell Wilson rumors about traded. I do not think he's going to get traded. If he does, that'd just be dumb. Maybe in the next couple years he'll leave, but that doesn't mean anything. And if you're doing a redraft every year, yeah, this year DK Metcalf is definitely a solid receiver. Russell Wilson in Seattle love to pass the ball, so great to see it. But basically, those are our receivers. So I'm going to rank them from 1 to 6 like I did to the running backs. All right, and then we're going to wrap it up. So for the number 1 steal of a receiver, you could get last video on the running backs. I kind of overthought it. I kind of thought about it again, and I kind of messed up a little bit. I thought about this one, and I'm gonna think about each one a little bit more. But number 1, I'm sorry, this is not biased. You got to go Courtland Sutton. I've been watching, hearing a lot of people too. It's not just me. Courtland Sutton, depending on the QB situation, he is gonna have a good year next year. He's just a great receiver. He has skill. He's 6'4". He's 25 years old. As long as the ACL is back to normal and he's actually hurt, he's been practicing, and so he's fine. The chemistry between him and Locke are good. He likes Locke, I've heard, and that's, you know what I mean? As long as Locke keeps on practicing, and if Locke has a breakout year next year, expect Courtland Sutton to do amazing. But yeah, Courtland Sutton is my probably number 1 receiver on this list for value, ranked 25th on ESPN projections. That's not very high. Think about it. All right, number 2. I'm gonna think about this a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go with DJ Chark. This is a risky one. I'm gonna say DJ Chark is ranked 26th wide receiver, but you can't really risk that too much. Think about it. You're getting him late in the draft. What are you risking, really? You have a chance. This is how you win fantasy. In the beginning rounds, you get the solid players that you know that are going to be safe without injuries, and then later on, you take these huge risks that have upside. You don't pick the best available. Okay, if Odell Beckham's there and DJ Chark's there, who are you picking? Please do not say Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is no longer good. I learned that from last year. His injury is just this situation he's in. DJ Chark's in a perfect situation right now with the new quarterback of Trevor Lawrence. The only problems I have is that they do have some weapons, though. Jaguars have really built an offense, I'll say that. But yeah, DJ Chark is just DK without the strength. He's amazing, and I definitely think he's the second best receiver based off value, all right? Third of all, I think I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go Julio Jones for this one. 18th ranked. How are you ranking Julio Jones 18? But then I look at this, and you're rating guys who've only played 1 year, or, you know what I mean, like Justin Jefferson, or like even CD Lamb above him. Julio Jones on Atlanta right now, I think that's perfect. If he goes to Atlanta right now, I'd be confident having him. If he goes somewhere else, it depends what team, but also it's Julio Jones. I could see maybe this year being one of his last good years. You know, I mean, you can't play till you're 40 like Jerry Rice. You could, but Julio Jones is just a Hall of Fame wide receiver. But yeah, ranking him at 18 is just crazy. But as long as he stays healthy, he's a great target, especially if you can give him as your wide receiver too. Definitely great steal right there. All right, so that was our third wide receiver. All right, so we still got 3 more. For number 4, I'm going to go with, I'm going to keep this short and sweet though, Terry McLaurin. All right, Terry McLaurin has a huge upside. I don't know how I feel about the situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it depends closer to the season if there's a new QB added to them. But they traded away Dwayne Haskins. So Dwayne Haskins isn't there. So right now, it looks like Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter. But even if he's the starter, I still would feel confident drafting Terry McLaurin just because I've seen him play with bad QBs and he still succeeds. Great wide receiver, has a lot of talent, and I think he's a huge upside. And his ceiling isn't too high this season without the QB situation. Like, it's just not great. But if he has a good QB, oh my goodness, he could be amazing. All right, after this, we're going to go DK Metcalf. The only reason I'm ranking him down to the 5th receiver is just because he's a 6th rated receiver. It's based off the value. He's really high up there. But yeah, I definitely think he could play like a top receiver this year. As long as he keeps it up, he's just an amazing receiver. He's an absolute beast of a receiver. As long as he keeps on practicing, as long as he hasn't even had many major injuries, but 1,300 yards last season. We'll see if he can go up from that. Even if he doesn't, he's still going to have another good year. But yeah, definitely look at DK Metcalf if you guys can get him as your wide receiver 1 or 2. Don't reach for him. Trust me, don't reach for him, but try to steal him. All right. And lastly, Will Fuller. I love Will Fuller, but I just think that the Dolphins have too many wide receivers right now, and him being suspended the first 2 games suck. And Tua, with the question, is Tua going to be good? I'm a Tua believer. I'm going to be honest. I'm a Tua believer. I know. I think Tua's actually a good receiver, good quarterback. But I don't know. It doesn't mean he's going to be good. There's a lot of Tua haters, a lot of Tua lovers, but I don't know. I'm not even going to keep the Tua. Like, I'm not going to say anything. I just think that Tua isn't the best quarterback, but I hope he does blow up and have a good season this year. You know what I mean? With Will Fuller. But yeah, Will Fuller is the 6th rated. So it goes Courtland Sutton, DJ Chark, Julio, Terry McLaurin, DK, and Will Fuller. So make sure you guys do drop a like on this video. Hopefully this video was helpful. I have a lot of fun doing these videos. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you are completely new. Let's hit 100 subs like I said. Make sure you guys go sub to the main channel too, Young JDR. And make sure you guys go down and comment who your favorite wide receiver is in the NFL. Personally, mine is DK Metcalf. And then besides DK, I like a lot of receivers, but DK is probably my favorite just because how crazy of a receiver he is. But like I said, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe. I'll be having these bangers videos out a lot, so make sure you guys drop a like. Like I said again, holy. I'll see you guys, boys. See you boys next time. But until then, your boys out. Peace. Setting up a screen.